Right now, there's a silent war being waged against your retirement. And you're losing. The difference between choosing the right retirement account and the wrong one? $1.2 million. That's not clickbait. That's math. And in the next 12 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how the tax code is designed to keep you poor in retirement, unless you know these 3 accounts inside and out. Let me set the stage for what we're actually dealing with here. The average American retires with just over $200,000 saved. Sounds like a lot, right? Wrong. At a 4% withdrawal rate, that's $8,000 a year. $666 a month. Try paying rent, healthcare, and groceries on that. Meanwhile, the top 10% retire with over $1.9 million. SAMI country. SAMI opportunities. SAMI retirement accounts available to everyone. So what's the difference? It's not income. It's not luck. It's understanding the 3 accounts I'm about to break down. And here's the thing that should make you furious: nobody taught you this in school. But don't worry. By the end of this video, you'll know more than 90% of financial advisors. And that brings us to account number 1. The one your employer desperately wants you to use. The 401k. Named after a random section of the tax code from 1978. Sounds boring, right? But this is the most powerful wealth building tool most Americans have access to. Here's how it works in plain English. Money comes out of your paycheck before taxes. If you make $60,000 and contribute $6,000, the IRS only sees $54,000 as your income. You just legally hid $6,000 from the taxman. But here's where it gets interesting. That money grows completely tax-free for decades. No capital gains taxes. No dividend taxes. Nothing. For 30 years. Now pause and let that sink in. Every dollar you put in today could become $10 or $15 by retirement. And none of that growth gets touched by Uncle Sam. Until you withdraw. That's the catch. And it's a big one. But before I reveal the 401k's dark secret, let me tell you about the one feature that's literally free money. The employer match. If your company offers a 401k match and you're not taking it, you are literally setting money on fire. It is a real example. Your company offers a 50% match up to 6% of your salary. You make $60,000. You contribute 6%, that's $3,600. Your employer gives you another $1,800. That's a 50% instant return on your money. Before it even gets invested. Where else are you getting 50% guaranteed returns? Nowhere. That's where. You don't care if you have credit card debt. You don't care if your car is falling apart. Get that match. It's the closest thing to free money that exists in this system. But here's what keeps me up at night about the 401k. Something they bury in the fine print. Something that could cost you hundreds of thousands. And almost nobody talks about it. The 401k tax time bomb. Remember how I said you don't pay taxes going in? Well, you pay them coming out. Every single dollar. At retirement, when you withdraw that money, it's taxed as ordinary income. Not capital gains, which is lower. Ordinary income. It is the nightmare scenario playing out for millions of retirees right now. You saved diligently for 40 years. You got $1.5 million. Congratulations? Not so fast. You need $80,000 a year to live. Add Social Security, and suddenly you're in a higher tax bracket than when you were working. You deferred taxes at 22%, but now you're paying 32%. You thought you were being smart, but the IRS was playing the long game. And they won. Let that sink in for a second. The account that was supposed to save you money might actually cost you. Unless you understand the alternative. Which brings us to the account that terrifies the government. The Roth IRA. 3 words that could literally change your financial future forever. Tax free. Roth. Unlike the 401k, you contribute money after you've already paid taxes on it. I know what you're thinking. That sounds worse. But stay with me, because this is where it gets beautiful. Every single dollar of growth, every dividend, every compound gain for the next 30, 40 years is yours. Tax-free. Forever. When you withdraw in retirement? Zero taxes. When your account doubles? Zero taxes. When it grows to $1 million? Zero taxes. The government gets nothing. Let me give you real numbers. You contribute $6,000 a year from age 25 to 65. That's $240,000 of your own money. At an 8% average return, it grows to $1.7 million. In a 401k, you'd owe over $300,000 in taxes on withdrawal. In a Roth, you keep every penny. That's the difference we're talking about. But there's a problem with the Roth. A big one. Income limits. The Roth IRA has a ceiling, and if you make too much money, you're locked out. For 2024, if you're single and making over $161,000, you can't contribute directly. Married filing jointly? That limit is $240,000. Seems unfair, right? The people who could benefit most from tax-free growth can't access it? Well, here's where it gets interesting. There's a completely legal loophole that high earners use to get around this. It's called the backdoor Roth, and the IRS has been trying to shut it down for years. They haven't succeeded yet. It is how it works. You contribute to a traditional IRA, which has no income limits. Then you immediately convert it to a Roth. Pay taxes on that small amount, and boom. You're in now. There are some rules and potential pitfalls with something called the pro rata rule. But that's exactly why the wealthy stay wealthy. They know the loopholes. And now, so do you. Now let's talk about the traditional IRA, the 401k's rebellious younger sibling. It works almost identically to a 401k. Pre-tax contributions, tax-deferred growth, taxed at withdrawal. But there's one crucial difference. Freedom. With a 401k, you're stuck with whatever investment options your employer chooses. Usually a handful of expensive mutual funds that charge you fees every single year. With a traditional IRA, you control everything. Individual stocks. ETFs with rock-bottom fees. REITs. Bonds. Even alternative investments in some cases. You're the captain of your own ship. The contribution limit is lower though. $7,000 in 2024, or $8,000 if you're over 50. Compared to $23,000 for a 401k. But here's the strategy the wealthy use. They max out their 401k up to the employer match first. Then they fund their IRA for the control and lower fees. Then they go back and max out the 401k. It's a specific order. And it matters more than you think. Let me show you exactly why. Let's break down the optimal order of operations for your retirement contributions. Think of this as the wealth building playbook that financial advisors charge thousands to explain. Step 1. Contribute to your 401k up to the full employer match. This is non-negotiable. Free money first. Always. Step 2. Max out your Roth IRA if you qualify. That tax-free growth is too powerful to ignore, especially if you're young and in a lower tax bracket now. Step 3. Go back and max out your 401k to the full $23,000 limit. Step 4. If you still have money left to invest, open a taxable brokerage account. This order isn't random. It's designed to maximize tax advantages while maintaining flexibility. The Roth gives you penalty-free contribution withdrawal if emergencies happen. The 401k gives you the highest contribution limits. Together? They're unstoppable. But wait. There is one more account type nobody talks about. And it might be better than all of them. The HSA. The Health Savings Account. Now before you click away thinking this is about healthcare, stop. The HSA is secretly the most powerful retirement account that exists. It is what? Triple tax advantage. Contributions are pre-tax, like a 401k. Growth is tax-free, like a Roth. And withdrawals for qualified medical expenses are tax-free. No other account offers all three. But here's the secret wealthy people know. after age 65, you can withdraw for any reason with no penalty. You just pay regular income tax, exactly like a 401k. So worst case scenario, it's equal to a 401k. Best case. Completely tax-free. And since healthcare costs are the #1 expense in retirement, you'll probably use it tax-free anyway. The average couple needs over $300,000 for healthcare in retirement. With an HSA, you can pay all of that with zero taxes. Now let me blow your mind with a strategy called the HSA hack. The HSA long game hack. Pay for medical expenses out of pocket now while you're young and healthy. Keep every receipt. Let your HSA money grow and compound for decades. Then, in retirement, reimburse yourself for all those old medical expenses, completely tax-free. There is no time limit on reimbursement. That doctor visit from 2024? You can reimburse yourself in 2054. You essentially create a massive tax-free slush fund for retirement. This is the strategy that millionaires use and nobody teaches. But I have to be honest with you about something. None of this matters if you make one critical mistake. A mistake I see people make every single day. And it's not about which account you choose. It's about what you do after you put money in. This single error can turn $1 million retirement into a $250,000 disaster. Let me explain. The mistake? Not investing the money once it's in the account. I know this sounds obvious, but 44% of 401k participants and 68% of HSA holders leave their money in cash or money market funds. Not invested. Used sitting there. Earning almost nothing while inflation eats it alive. They think contributing is investing. It's not. Contributing is just step 1. You have to actually buy investments inside the account. Index funds. ETFs. Target date funds. Something. Leaving money in cash inside your 401k is like buying a Ferrari and never putting gas in it. You have the vehicle for wealth, but you're not going anywhere. It is what happens with real numbers. You contribute $10,000 per year for 30 years. In cash at 2%, you end up with $400,000. Invested in index funds at 8%? Over $1.2 million. Same contributions. Same account. Different choices. That's an $800,000 difference based on one decision. So here's your action plan. The exact steps to take this week, not someday, this week. Step 1. Log into your 401k and verify you're getting the full employer match. If not, increase your contribution today. That is 5 minutes. Step 2. Check what your money is actually invested in. If it says money market or stable value, change it immediately to a diversified index fund or target date fund. Step 3. If you're eligible for a Roth IRA, open one this week. Fidelity, Schwab, Vanguard. That is 15 minutes online. Fund it with whatever you can. Step 4. If you have an HSA, max it out and invest it aggressively. You're not touching this money for decades. Step 5. Run the numbers on your current tax bracket versus expected retirement bracket. This determines whether traditional or Roth makes more sense for your situation. These aren't abstract concepts anymore. These are concrete actions that separate the financially free from the financially trapped. And now you know the game better than most financial advisors. Look, the system isn't designed for you to win. But it has loopholes. And now you know them. The 401k for employer matches and high contribution limits. The Roth for tax-free growth. The traditional IRA for control. The HSA as your secret triple threat weapon. Master these 4 accounts and you've already outplayed 90% of Americans. Your future self will thank you. If this video opened your eyes to something new, smash that subscribe button. We're building a community of people who refuse to stay unbanked from financial knowledge. See you in the next one. Now go build that wealth.